We must not and we will not balance this budget on the backs of people who, through little or no fault of their own, have been caught in a riptide of this economic tsunami.
Governor Corzine turns to higher taxes, lower rebate checks, deeper government cuts, and more state worker givebacks to help close a record $7 billion state budget deficit. In his fourth budget message to the legislature, the governor this afternoon outlined his spending plan for New Jersey to stave off what he calls a challenging and painful crisis. The $29.8 billion spending plan for the fiscal year starting July 1st is about $3 billion less than the budget the governor signed into law last June. Now, State House correspondent Zachary Fink is standing by at the Capitol with more budget details and reactions. Zach?
Jim, we heard a lot from the governor today about the need for shared sacrifice. However, the governor also made a point of saying that he needs to do what is best for the common good in these very tough economic times. We have two reports tonight. We begin with senior political correspondent Michael Aaron.
The governor compared the state to a family sitting around its kitchen table in the midst of a deep recession. His priorities, he said, are children, senior citizens, and the most vulnerable. He explained the state would be spending $36 billion next year if spending were allowed to rise naturally. With revenues of just $28.5 billion, it is necessary to find about $7 billion in cuts and savings, he said. The federal stimulus bill, he said, provides $2 billion, mainly for education and health care.
Still leaves a $5 billion gap in the budget, which we have attacked with $4 billion in cuts to programs, rebates, pension payments, and state worker wages. In all, there are over 850 line items in the budget that have been cut.
His budget saves $500 million by scaling back homestead rebates, another $500 million by reducing the state's payment into the public employee pension system, and $400 million by canceling a scheduled raise for state workers and imposing 12 unpaid furlough days on them.
This approach calls for shared sacrifice, but I believe it is far better for our employees to share in these reductions and continue working than it is for savings to be achieved by the layoff of up to 7,000 workers.
The rebates will be preserved for seniors, the disabled, and couples earning under $50,000. Those between $50,000 and $75,000 will get two-thirds of what they got last year. Families earning above $75,000 will get no rebate. To help pay for that, the governor wants to eliminate the property tax deduction on the state income tax, except for seniors, which would yield about $400 million for the state. He also wants to increase the income tax on those earning more than $500,000 a year by 0.75% for 1 year only, and increase taxes on liquor, wine, and cigarettes, but not beer. Other details: school aid would be cut by $94 million, though the governor insists it will be increased in terms of dollars into the classroom. Municipal aid is cut 2%. Charity care is basically held flat. And employers will have to increase their payments into the unemployment insurance fund by perhaps $75 per employee. There was a clear political dimension to the speech. The governor answered critics who say he's been a disappointment on fiscal policy. He recited a litany of budget reforms he says he's achieved and devoted nearly a third of the speech to defending himself.
I may not always have done what's popular. Moment. But you can be damn sure I've always done what I thought was right.
Michael Aaron, NJN News, Trenton.